The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. Published in 2016 by Anguiquill Young Readers. This is a fairy tale fantasy with 386 pages. Appropriate age group for this book would be 10 years and up. When the story opens, we meet 13-year-old Antane, who is following his uncle through the cobbled streets of Protectorate, a place referred to by some as a city of sorrows. Their destination is a drab little house circled by a crowd of murmuring villagers. A woman's anguished cries echoes from within the house. When Antane follows his uncle through the inside, he beholds a disturbing sight. A terrified mother with black hair struggles in the air, is clinging desperately to her baby and threatening to assault anyone who touches her child. But armed guards manage to bind and subdue the mother. They confiscate the baby and drag the belligerent woman away and lock her in a tower. Antane's uncle carries the baby girl through the fog-laden streets to the edge of the city, where the gate closes behind them. Antane, along with his uncle and the city's council of elders, hasten into the forest that flanks the city. The forest is a dangerous place where ominous trees speak. Growing pockets of poisonous, bad air, scalding mud pots boil in the ground. At the end of the winding trail, the elders stop at a circle of ancient trees. Antane watches his uncle lay the baby on the bed of moss in the center of the trees. For she is an offering to the witch of the forest, a sacrifice made to prevent the witch from terrorizing the city. Now that the baby has been placed in the circle, everyone turns to leave, save for Antane, who expresses in dismay. "Shouldn't we wait for the witch?" he asks. "Surely if the baby is left here alone, she'll be eaten by animals." But Antane is told it's not customary to wait. So despite his troubled conscience, he departs, leaving the whimpering baby behind. Enters the witch Zan. She is awoken from sleep by the wail of a baby. She lifts the baby into her arms and quiets the child with a bottle of goat's milk. She sets off on a long journey through the forest, keeping the baby cradled in her arms along the way. When the goat milk has run out, she then lifts her hands to the night sky and gathers gossamers of starlight and feeds the baby. On the 10th night, as Zan is gazing into the baby's eyes, she reaches for starlight, but instead gathers moonlight by mistake. The baby eats and eats, has her fill of moonlight, before Zan realizes she has unintentionally magicked the baby. Magical children are dangerous because their powers are erratic and uncontained. Zan, who has planned to be rid of this child, decides she must keep her instead, to watch the child and wait for the day when the power emerges in full. And thus begins the magical tale of baby Luna, a girl that was stolen from her mother, raised by a witch, and gifted the power of the moon. Luna's story is a good old-fashioned fairy tale, complete with witches, dragons, and ancient creatures who reside in bubbling, sulphurous bog. Her world is comprised of enchanted objects, talking animals, magic spells, and heinous monsters. Reading about the tapestry of folklore, fantasy creatures is a delight because of Barnhill's narrative voice. The story is rich and whimsical as her portrayal of magic, which is arguably the best part of this book. Sometimes magic is accidental, emerging in the form of iridescent flowers that bloom from each footstep behind Luna as she runs through the forest. Other times it's a playful, intentional, as when Luna transforms a book into a dove or brings her pencils and quills to life dancing upon her desk. But not all magic is innocent or sweet. Some forms of magic require the exchange of sinister currency, one that is disturbing to read about whenever it's employed by a character with an ill intention. The author's imaginative writing style also accounts for the novel's vivid sense of atmosphere. Whether it's the city laden with moss and fog clinging to its walls, or a foul-smelling swamp buried beneath a thick layer of slime, ranging in color from poison green to blood red, every setting materializes into a place that can be seen, smelled, and touched. While it's easy to be immersed into this fantasy world, it's occasionally difficult to discern who the main character is. Luna is certainly a central figure, but this is a multi-generational saga and subsequently has a large cast of characters. Each character brings their own quirks and characteristics to the story, so they're easily differentiated. But because there is so many, the story is fairly complicated. Also, the story occasionally is dark and disturbing, and for this reason, it's recommended for a slightly older middle grade audience for 10 and up. Bottom line, this book is won the 2017 Newbery Medal, and it's not hard to see why. The luscious prose and the winding plot and the cast of charming characters. The Girl Who Drank the Moon is an alluring tale of love and magic forcing unlikely friendships. The most important concept I think students will take from them after reading this book will be hope. To concentrate on the negative and the sorrow accomplishes nothing, but staying hopeful and optimistic, you can achieve anything. The strategy guide I came up with is going to be an individual and a group project for the classroom. And what we'll do is we have this Venn diagram, and the reason we're doing this is there are so many characters in this book. Each student can choose 2 of the characters, fill out the Venn diagram, comparing the things that are different and the things that they have in common, the similarities between these characters. When the whole class is done, they can take up these diagrams and hang them on the wall and matching them up like dominoes and showing how all these characters are intertwined and connected. Go read The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. I truly enjoyed it. Thank you.